Hey everyone, and welcome back. So I have a couple things to get to today, including some new Severin titles that are coming soon, which I'm going to get to. I don't have all of them announced yet, but I'll get to the ones that have been announced so far as of this recording. I have a detailed one of an upcoming one from Kino, and also some upcoming Nightmare on Elm Street 4K box set, kind of bizarre. I would say drama, it's not quite the right word, but an interesting thing that happened. Personally, I think it's funny, but I'm gonna get to it because, you know, why not? Before I get to anything, I need to give a special thanks to Chris Quinlan 6527 for tipping me $4.99 on the last video. He said more money to add to the collection. And I thank you so much, Chris. As I said before, like, I never would expect to get tips from anyone, and over the last several months, you guys have been extremely generous with them, and I can tell you right now, it means so much. I know I keep saying this, but it does. It really does mean a lot to me personally. So again, thank you so much, Chris. It means a lot, and I do want to promise you guys that do tip that anything that is tipped, I'm only going to use towards like a movie, or something. Like, it's not going to go towards anything else. So it's going to have a very specific purpose that ties into the channel. So again, thank you so much, Chris. It means so much. So first up, let's do a Kino announcement that has an upcoming release that now has officially been detailed as part of their, it's part of the Paramount deal, but they're putting out 4K versions of obviously all kinds of films, but specifically a lot of comedies. Now this one I did mention before, but now we have the details. Coming September 23rd is a 4K within Blu-ray, and also a separate Blu-ray release of the comedy Airplane 2, the sequel, which you asked me, I never would have thought we would have gotten a 4K release of this one. So the 4K disc, it'll be a 2-disc set, 4K and Blu-ray, and again, the Blu-ray is separate. And let's see, so has a brand new 4K scan from the original 35mm camera negative, will be in 5.1 surround as well as 2.0 stereo, and it does have 2 new commentary tracks. First one with Mike White of the Projection Booth podcast, and the second one with television writer showrunner Patrick Walsh. And then on the Blu-ray, which has the film with the new transfer, the 2 commentary tracks, and it also has the theatrical trailer. And that's it. I don't know why, when there's only one other thing, especially the trailer, why it's not on the 4K disc. I don't, that's kind of weird. I know Kino kind of does that a lot, but I guess there's a reason for it. Anyway, so yeah, another comedy in 4K, and actually Airplane 2, obviously the original Airplane's an amazing classic. Airplane 2, nowhere near as good, but I still think it's, it's funny, and I love seeing, the cast members kind of back for that. So the 4K retails for $44.95, and the Blu-ray only version retails for $24.95. As it retail always comes down in price as we get closer to release, and if you do like I do most of the time, you wait for when the Kino sales, you get it even a lot cheaper. And as a heads up, all Kino Blu-rays are always region A locked. 4K region free, 4K Blu-rays region A locked. Now we get to the Severin titles. So they have an upcoming sale which starts on July 25th. Now they usually do this kind of I think they actually do it technically a couple times a year, but definitely their summer sale, which, it's a sale. Obviously, a lot of stuff goes on sale, but also they have a ton of new titles that get announced. So they announce them one at a time over the course of, obviously, leading up to the sale. So far, they have announced 5 titles, and there are more coming. So as of this recording, this is where we are. And actually, the last one was announced right before I sat down, so I'm glad I checked. So I'm going to do them in order of announcements. So first up, title number 1 is the movie Baskin, which is going to be a 4K release with a Blu-ray. And I think so far this is the only 4K one. I think all the other ones are Blu-ray. The included Blu-ray will be region free. So this is a semi-newer Turkish film. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. So let's see. When a 5-man police squad is lured into a realm where torment, depravity, and damnation are the only law. They'll become prisoners of an abyss with which there may be no mortal escape. So it comes with a couple of extras, including a commentary track with director Can Evrenol, hope I'm pronouncing that okay, as well as the theatrical trailer and the US trailer, and that's on the 4K disc. And then the included Blu-ray has the film with the commentary track, the two trailers, as well as Baskin, 10 years later, and the making of Baskin, as well as a couple of short films from the director, including the original short film of Baskin, To My Mother and Father, My Grandmother, The Chest, and Screws. Now, I don't know anything beyond like price or anything at this moment. These are because these aren't going to be up for obviously pre-order until the sale on July 25th. Title number 2, and this is actually one I am looking forward to, and this is going to be a Blu-ray release, and I believe it's Region A locked. It is Region A locked. Is a new upcoming release of the movie Monster Shark, the Lamberto Bava film. And it's getting a brand new release, and it will be the European version scanned from the original camera negative, and it will be a 2-disc set Blu-ray and include the original soundtrack, with the score, which was done by Fabio Frizzi, which is one of my favorite Italian film composers, especially. He was a great guy. Met him a few years ago. Will be English and Italian, and we'll have a couple of extras, including a commentary track with sharksploitation experts Steven Scarlatta, Josh Miller, and Matt Mercer. They call him John Old Jr. A talk with director Lamberto Bava. Man vs. Devilfish interview with actor Michael Sopkiw. The trailer, and again, the soundtrack CD. So I haven't seen Monster Shark actually in a while. Looking forward to revisiting that one. Who put that out? Was that Code Red or Scorpion or something a while ago? Or am I remember? I don't know. Anyway, looking forward to picking that one up. Next up, let's move right along. So title number 3, a Blu-ray release, Region A locked, of the movie Skinheads. This is Italian film directed by Claudio Fragasso, who did a few Italian films, especially a lot of screenwriting ones. Or he wrote a lot of screenplays, including some of Bruno Mattei's films. So I had no idea anything about this film, so actually interested in it. Has a new 4K transfer from the original camera negative with a couple of nice features, including In the Name of Hate, feature-length documentary with director Claudio Fragasso, co-writer Rossella Drudi, actors Gianmarco Tognazzi, Stefano Molinari, and Giulio Abbas, composer Sergio Camarier, art director Claudio Besantini, editor Ugo De Rossi, uncredited replacement DP Nino Celeste, stuntman Massimo Vanni, and prop master Vincenzo Luzzi, as well as the trailer. There's a lot of names for me to read, me and my names. 2 more to go. Title number 4 is a Blu-ray release of the movie Dead Sleep, Region A locked as well. This is a Linda Blair film, I believe from the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. Directed by Alec Mills, who did the movie Blood Moon. I believe this was a Australian production, if I'm not mistaken. I believe, yes, it is. With a score done by Brian May, who did some of the Mad Max films. So it's got a new transfer from the original camera negative from Studio Canal. Will be in its original 1.33 to 1 aspect ratio, as well as the original mono soundtrack. And does have a couple of extras, including Sleep Demon interview with Jeanette Fife Yeomans, co-author of Deep Sleep, Harry Bailey and the Scandal of Chelmsford, the right side of the stethoscope visual essay on the medical melodrama subgenre, as well as the trailer. And then finally, title number 5, this is the one that was just announced. Again, there will be more coming. This is the movie Night of the Sharks. Movie starring Treat Williams, and late Treat Williams, sadly. It's going to be a Blu-ray set, or a Blu-ray release. Will be region free for this one. And this is the official North American disc premiere scanned from the only surviving 35mm print, which I'm glad this film is being rescued, because as I mentioned before, whenever, when sometimes for films, you never know when, elements can go missing for all kinds of reasons, and sometimes, you can only find a print, and I'm all about, hey, if all you got a print, all you have is a print, then by all means, scan it, archive it, and release it. You know, I'm totally okay with that. You know, keep the film from disappearing for good. Even if it's a little rough around the edges, I'm so happy that it is getting released. So it'll be a Blu-ray release and will include the soundtrack on CD. And as of now, I don't know if this will change, but so far the only extra is the trailer and the CD soundtrack. So that is it so far for the Severin titles. Again, there'll be more details as well as more titles announced as we get closer to the July 25th sale. So yeah, so that's where we are right now. Obviously, a lot of Italian films, so I'm very happy about that. Well, and a Turkish film. Turkish and Italian. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. And now we get to the interesting thing that happened this past week, which was the... it seemed like the artwork for the upcoming Nightmare on Elm Street 4K box set got leaked. But and obviously a lot of people kind of flipped out, like what is Warner Brothers thinking about this? Now I have to admit, my gut, I had the initial reaction of like, oh my, what the hell? This can't be. Is it? Is this what they're doing? You know, it's not like some of the studios have a great track record of having good covers on films. I mean, heck, even the cover for the Nightmare on Elm Street released last year, you know, I mean, I had a picture of, you know, Robert Englund in Freddy. It was a promo pic, though, not from the first Nightmare on Elm Street film, which is what they released, but from Nightmare 4. So it's like, okay. So not out of the possibility of them having a bizarre cover for this box set. But luckily for me, even though my initial reaction was like, something kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm glad I didn't kind of jump on it, because obviously a lot of people did. I mean, everywhere I looked, there were so many people talking about the cover and everything. And I'm not faulting them, by the way, because honestly, if I was in a position to make a video that day, I even might have myself. And so I'm not jumping on that. I'm not getting on my high horse, even though my gut was telling me, like, this doesn't seem right. I cannot get on my high horse because Lord knows over the last several years, oh God, I've gotten so many things wrong. I've heard rumors that I thought were true. I've heard fan speculation or fan, like, almost wish list stuff that was presented as fact and stuff, or people just flat out lied in some cases. You know, so it's like, I'm not innocent in this by any means. It's like, just because this was one case where I didn't, there have been plenty of other times I've got it wrong. So now personally, I thought it was funny because it did turn out to be fake. And this was, ironically, it was kind of one of those where it's supposed to be just a small little joke for, like, you know, a couple people, and then obviously everyone kind of jumped on it, and it got way out of hand very fast. So I hope he's okay with me mentioning his username. This came from the Blu-ray.com message board, where Kyle15 is the one who made the, you know, artwork, made it as a joke. I think he made it in one of the AI programs, and obviously a couple people, you know, initially saw it, you know, in the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K thread on the Blu-ray message boards, and they're just like, oh my God, that's terrible. What is Warner Brothers thinking and everything? And again, that was my initial reaction as well. But what he wasn't expecting, I don't think a lot of us were expecting, is that everyone saw it and jumped on it, and it just went everywhere. It's everywhere as far as, like, you know, in our circles anyway. And yeah, so he eventually came out and was just like, I was not expecting this. You know, this was done as a joke and everything. Now, even though I was very close to making the same mistake, I'm kind of glad I listened to my gut. But again, I was probably pretty close to also making a video that day. But at the same time, honestly, I think it's actually really funny. Just the fact that how everyone kind of flipped out over it, including myself. You know, it's like, I can laugh at myself, and stuff. So I don't know. I gotta give props to him for actually coming up with a really funny thing, and I think it is funny that it, you know, at least for like a day or two, it went viral. You know, in some ways. So yeah. Anyway, as far as the actual artwork goes, we don't know. I mean, it's, you know, there are 2 releases that we do know are coming. We just don't have details right now. I mean, I hope we get it soon, because, you know, it's supposed to come out hopefully, you know, in September, maybe October. But there is going to be sort of a regular release, as well as a supposedly a steelbook release, which now I do believe the steelbook version is actually true. I think it's going to be semi-similar to the Superman set that Warner Brothers put out a couple years ago for the 4K releases of that. And then also a standard version, which, yeah, I just wait. Now, I assume the cover for, you know, the standard release, it's probably going to be pretty basic. It's probably going to be pretty simple. Again, not far off from what they did with the Nightmare on Elm Street 1 cover, or even the older Blu-ray box set, you know, just that kind of simple image of Freddy's eyes and stuff like that. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it just ended up being something like that. Now, the Steelbook one, though, which as far as I know is actually an Amazon exclusive. If it's done like the Superman one, and this is where I am interested in this, even if I end up paying like twice as much for it. The outer case, which is made out of metal, very simple. But then inside each film is in an individual steelbook. And if it's like the Superman set, each steelbook cover will have the original one-sheet artwork on it, which is what I'm hoping for. Now, as of right now, because I don't want to get tied up in everything, until this is all officially announced from Warner Brothers, it's just consider it rumor. I don't know. But to my knowledge, as of right now, at the very least, well, obviously there's going to be a standard release, and it looks like there is probably going to be like a steelbook release. But again, also expect that if it's an Amazon exclusive, it very well could sell out very fast, just like the Superman set did. And it will also cost probably about twice as much as the standard release. Now, until we get the official announcement from Warner Brothers, obviously, you know, it's yeah, we'll just see, you know. And obviously when the official announcement does come, you know, I'm going to talk about it. And, oh man, I can't wait to find out the details of it. And also, now one thing I do want to say, because I am confused about this, because I could have sworn in an interview that was done not too long ago that I believe Freddy vs. Jason was initially supposed to be in this box set, and it looks like it's not. It's only going to be the first film all the way through New Nightmare. Could be wrong. Again, we'll wait till the official announcement, but it's possible that Freddy vs. Jason will not be included in the Nightmare set, in which case, I don't know. Maybe Arrow can still put that one out. I don't know. Hopefully somebody puts it out, you know, because we can have all of them. So a little bit of fun this past week with all that, which, you know, I don't know. You know, at the end of the day, like, no one's hurt. You know, it doesn't really mean anything. It just, yeah, maybe a couple of egos maybe were bruised along the way, but for the most part, you know, it's like, you gotta laugh. You know, you gotta laugh at the situation, you gotta laugh at yourself, and yeah. And one final thing I do want to mention, I was hoping to make a separate video, as I've done for the last several years, but I wasn't able to. Yesterday, from this recording, was July 10th, which is the anniversary of the original release of Escape from New York, which was released on July 10th back in 1981. So released 44 years ago, well, not today, but yesterday. And yes, I am wearing one of my Escape from New York shirts. I believe this one is from Gutter Garbs, if I'm not mistaken. I do have a couple Escape from New York shirts. As some of you know, it is one of my top 5 favorite films. So, yeah, any chance I get to celebrate the film, I always do. And I did watch it last night, as I have done every year on the 10th for, well, at least for the last 7 years, I think, for sure. I don't know, beyond that, I'm not sure, but for sure the last 7 years. Maybe even 8. I don't know. But anyway, it is a tradition if I can. Obviously, you know, life will determine otherwise. But yes, I was happy to, not that I always need a reason, but it's an extra reason. And next year, of course, it being 2026, will be the 45th anniversary. So I definitely need to make sure next year I go out of my way and do a very special video to celebrate the 45th anniversary. So yeah. Wasn't able to do a separate video on it, but obviously I have to mention it because, again, one of my top 5 favorite films. And yeah, so happy anniversary, Escape from New York. And now on that note, yeah, that's the video. Obviously, you know, like announcements and I'd say drama, but, you know, stuff and everything, you know. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on all of these things. And again, thank you so much, Chris, for that tip. It really does mean a lot. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
John Carpenter's Escape from New York, the high adventure of the future. One man must go in where no man has ever gotten out. John Carpenter's Escape from New York. The greatest escape of them all is about to blow the future apart.